Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansu, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. And we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty serious show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to hit all notifications to be notified the second we publish our content. Now, this is a topic that I've been wanting to produce for some time, but unfortunately, I could not find the audio. It used to exist on YouTube, but somehow, some way, it seemed to just totally disappear. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. So what happened? This morning, I woke up and I checked my Instagram, and I went into my request folder. And I saw a new message, and usually it's from people that talk about sports and all of that. So I clicked on this particular message to see what was being said. As I opened the message, I saw a video that was linked, and a small note that went with the video from Michael Germain. And he said, "Have you ever seen this? Pretty questionable. I'm a YouTube subscriber to your channel." And the minute I saw the thumbnail of the video he was talking about, I immediately knew what the video was. Now, as you guys know, there's been speculation that's been taking place in sports media about various media personalities who people feel like are being influenced to say a particular thing about a particular person. In this particular case, we're talking about Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe is the person in question today. Back in 2011, Shannon Sharpe put up a tweet where he said, ranking the three greatest NBA players of all time, he said, number 1 is God, 2 is Jordan, and 3 is Kobe, in that order. But ever since Shannon Sharpe joined Undisputed back in 2015, he all of a sudden changed up his tune and now started saying that, oh, for whatever reason, Jordan wasn't close to God anymore. And all of a sudden, he started saying that Kareem was the greatest player of all time, even though both Jordan and Kareem had retired. And then out of nowhere, he started saying that LeBron James was better than Michael Jordan. And the guy, Kobe, that he had right behind Jordan, who was behind God, according to him, he dropped Kobe all the way to number 9. And some of us were out here asking ourselves the question, bro, what's up with Shannon Sharpe? Like, what's going on here? So back in 2016, I believe it was, because when the show first started, Joy Taylor, I believe, was one of the first moderators. And on this particular segment, you had Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe, and Steven Jackson, and they were arguing one of these ridiculous Jordan LeBron topics. And at the end of the segment, Joy Taylor said something that totally took Skip Bayless by surprise because he was totally unaware of it. But she basically said, I know why all of a sudden you become a LeBron guy. And Steven Jackson goes, yeah, I heard the same thing too. And they basically said that Shannon is being paid to push LeBron James to NBA fans. But before we even get into those comments, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is really simple. Instead of just selecting a team, you just select 2 or more players, pick more or less their projected stats, and then you place your entry. For example, this week, I'm selecting 2 entries. Stephen Curry for more than 25 points, and then I got Anthony Davis for more than 2 blocks, and Damian Lillard for more than 4 3-pointers made. PrizePicks is also the only daily sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So for example, if you have a player who gets injured in the first half and doesn't return to the second half, that player gets automatically rebooted. What I also love about PrizePicks is that it offers weekly promotions like Taco Tuesdays each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts, select player projections, up to 25% to provide even more value. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. And once again, once you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is want to quickly play what Joy Taylor had to say. It's only about a minute segment. And then want to really come back and get into the meat and potatoes of this show here. Take a listen to that.
You know what? I have some inside information as to why you are saying that LeBron is the GOAT now.
No.
Really?
You have no information.
I'm not gonna snitch,
No.
Do
but I
tell.
Don't be trying to snitch, Joy.
Do
I'm
tell.
not gonna snitch.
What are we
I heard it too, Joy. I heard it too, Joy.
Shannon can't be bought. His loyalty can't be bought.
Wait, did you just get exposed?
What I do?
You got bought?
Nope.
You're not ready to tell yet?
Nope.
No? All right, fine.
So you heard the audio. Why are we producing this show today? Well, the typical LeBron fan will say you're doing it because you're hating on LeBron or you need to get views, one thing or the other. But the reason we're producing this show is to get to the integrity of what sports media is supposed to be about. You see, when I got into this space, I stupidly or naively thought that, oh, we're going to be talking about sports and you're going to be saying what you think and calling it how you see it. But as time has gone on, I've quickly realized that just like in politics, there's a lot of special interest groups in sports as well. There's a lot of lobbying that takes place behind closed doors, and a lot of voices, good amount of voices, are being influenced to say certain things. You will seldom see somebody out there that is actually saying what they truly think. If I had to be honest with you, I think the most honest voice in sports, I think, is Charles Barkley. And the reason I say that is because Charles Barkley gets into spats with people. The people that are usually the most agreeable, that never really have any issues with athletes and other people, are usually the guys that are being influenced to say one thing or the other. Charles Barkley is always having an issue with somebody because he calls it exactly as he sees it himself. I've seen on various occasions one person want to say this, but like, nah, we're not going to say it like that because I know him, or I know him, I know him. And to me, as the novice, as the rookie that got into this business, I'm like, but I thought you're supposed to be beholden to your audience. I thought you're supposed to tell your audience what you think. I thought you're supposed to be preoccupied with giving your audience your actual opinions. But as it turns out, it's not the case. What happened recently? Jason Whitlock, who some things I agree with him, some things I definitely disagree with him, basically said on his show about 2 or 3 weeks ago, where he said LeBron pays people in media to push his interests. This is a fact. I cannot prove it with Shannon, but I can prove it with other people like Nick Wright. Nick Wright, it has been said, even by his own colleague Doug Opley, that Nick Wright is a Clutch Sports. He's represented by Clutch Sports. That's the reason why Nick Wright only says positive things about LeBron James 99% of the time. That's one of the reasons he's always critical of players like Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. It's all an effort to prop up LeBron James. In the case of Shannon, I don't believe that Shannon believes a word that is coming out of his mouth, but he has been able to convince himself that he does. And the reason I say that is because you can see how passionate he gets about what he's saying. You would think this guy really believes it, but he doesn't. He doesn't. You cannot reconcile what you said about Jordan being the closest to God, and then all of a sudden he drops from number 1 to number 3, and you put Kareem. Explain that. You cannot explain that. The reason you cannot explain it is because both Jordan and Kareem had been retired. They'd been retired. So what new information do you have? How do you go Jordan from 1 to 3? It makes no sense. And the reason it makes no sense is because this guy is being influenced to say what he said. Now, Shannon did it as a joke. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's cute. I don't think any of that is funny. I think that you should say what you believe. And if all it took was for him to throw a bag at you and all of a sudden now you twerking it up, knocking over drinks for LeBron James, and man, that's a damn shame. Now, LeBron fans are going to feel it the type of way. I don't really give a damn. The reason they feel a type of way is because they watch our content every single day. I don't care. I don't care. But it's pretty shameful. Pretty shameful. But that's what we are in sports media these days. Just a bunch of different interest groups. You know, I just said it yesterday. One day somebody's saying one thing, the next day the person is saying the other thing. It's like, yo, bro, what's going on here? Who can we get an honest opinion on something, please? One of the few people, and I know people take exceptions with him, is Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson is one of the few people that I've heard actually keep it real, at least in the sense of he's saying what he thinks. People disagree with him, people agree with him. At least you know where the guy stands, right? At least I know where you stand on things. Now, I can then decide whether I like what you're saying or not, but at least I know what you think. At least that says a lot about a person, that they're willing to have an opinion. Most people are not. Most people are just going to go with the flow, twerk it up, knock over drinks, slapping each other with honey. They're just going to do that. But at least you know what the guy thinks. And then if you say, oh, I think he's a hater for Shannon, at least the guy has the courage to say what he thinks. At least. I just recently heard Steven Jackson, and he's been on the same type of time he's been on. Who do you think is the greatest players of all time ranking? He always says Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. Always. I never heard him say anything else. Ever. But this is where we are. Some people are going to feel the type of way, but it don't really surprise me, man. And it makes sense, because half of Shannon's arguments make absolutely no sense when you hear it. He's like, oh, Jordan, I've met him before. And it's like he's levitating. I mean, his impact is incredible. So who's the GOAT? It ain't Michael Jordan. It's like, all right, whatever.